Hey guys, what's up? Tom Fountainhead back with another guitar lesson in my 30 days of guitar lessons here at Fountainhead TV. So every day there's a new guitar lesson for 30 days straight. And we are organizing these lessons into 4 different categories or guitar related themes. And today is the start of week number 4, where we go into economy picking, probably the technique that I've been asked about the most from students in the last couple of years. And I think it's beginning to get a lot more popular these days among guitar players. So just let me take you through some very basic explanation for those of you who have never tried economy picking or maybe never even heard of it, if there's such a thing. I'm trying to make it quick. And remember that these lessons, unlike my master classes or playthroughs or whatever, they are directed specifically towards more intermediate or even beginner players, right? So let's just quickly take the time to explain it. You must know about alternate picking. I just assume everybody knows what that is. So binary, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up technique where you strike the string. And this is going to be important later on. You strike the string, go away from the string, and strike it again. So you have this pendulum motion, right? And then we have, as the antithesis of that, we'd have sweep picking. So in sweep picking, just adjust the camera angle a little bit. In sweep picking, we have the opposite. We want to do as many pick strokes in the same direction. So like here, down or up. And you can't use that same motion that you have in alternate picking, because when you strike the string and then go away from the string, strike, go away, strike, go away, strike, go away. Even if you do that just a tiny bit, you're losing time and energy, and you can't really do sweeping like it's supposed to. So what you want to do in a nutshell is you want to let your pick fall from string to string. So you're picking a string, and then instead of going away from it, you're letting your pick rest on the next string in that direction that you're playing in. Resting on that string, and then it just needs a little bit of extra push where you push the string away, it gives away for the pick, and then the pick can fall onto the next one, and that thing repeats. Same thing, ascending. Oh, that was descending, depending on how you see it. Same thing in the other pick direction with upstrokes. You don't use the force of gravity to pull you down to the floor, but the principle is the same. You are letting your pick rest on the next string in that direction, and then give it that little extra push. Right? All right, so now that we cleared all of that up, hopefully fast enough, let's get to economy picking. And economy picking is basically the idea that you're combining these 2 extremes into one technique. So why would you even want to do that? Well, there's many patterns in music that don't, when you play them on a guitar, that don't lend themselves well to either or of these 2 techniques, meaning alternate picking and sweep picking. So alternate picking works best if you have a buttload of notes on one string. The more you have to change strings, the more often you have to do that, the harder it becomes. And then sweep picking depends on the opposite. It depends on having a boatload of notes in the same direction. So if you have just one note per string, sweep picking is perfect. But what if you have a pattern where in that order you have 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3 notes on the strings? So what do you do then? Then both approaches don't really cut it. And I guess that's where the idea of economy picking was born, where you combine the both of them in order to go through these more challenging and ever-changing patterns on the guitar. So let me give you a very simple example. If we play free notes on the D string, right? Down, up, down, and then one note on the G string. With alternate picking, we'd have down, up, up. So that means that when we go to the G string, we are not having the same pick direction that we started with, right? We start with a downstroke, down, up, down, and now when we change strings, we have to go over the string and then plug it into the opposite direction. So that's alternate picking. If we, however, want to play that same little thing with economy picking, this is what happens. Down, up, down just before. But now instead of going away from the string, going over the string and then plucking it, now we are just going to rest our pick after the downstroke. We're going to rest it on the string that we're about to play and then just let it fall through. And that gives us alternate picking and then a little 2-note sweep. And the requirement for this to work is that you resist the temptation that you may have built up by doing a lot of alternate picking, the temptation to move away from the string. You have to stay close and just let it fall onto the next string. So that takes some getting used to. I realize that. But this is why we are starting super slow today. And I'm just going to give you an easy example using this little pattern here and doing it inside of a scale, or trusty old C major scale for maximum relatability. And then we're going to expand it just a little bit for today. And then tomorrow, as usual, we're going to take that same concept after you've had some time to sit down and assimilate it into your playing later today. Then tomorrow we're going to take it to the next level with a more difficult lick and approach. So let's do it in C major. Starting from the C, D, E, F. And when we go from E to F, this is where we have our little mini sweep. Down, up, up. And then we're going to repeat that same thing on each set of strings. And you can hopefully see that after I play those 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm not doing very much. I'm just lifting my finger up a tiny bit so I can have the necessary push downwards to begin the next phrase. That's all I'm doing, so I don't have to move around very much. That's why it's called economy picking. It's about economy of motion. Doing as much as you have to, but not more. Alright? Cool. And then let's add another little lick in the same scale to expand the pattern just by 1 note. So now until now we had 4 notes. Let's expand it to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So we're going to do a descending 1, 2, 3 notes here on the G string in C major, G, F, E. And now then have 1 note on the D string, 1 note on the A string. So 5 in total. If we want to play this like our alternate picking training would suggest we would start it with a downstroke. Now if we do that, the problem is that we have down, up, down, and then the next note on the D string would be an upstroke. So we have down, up, up. That would be straight up alternate picking. That's exactly what we're trying not to do for such a long period of time. So if we instead start with an upstroke, up, down, up, now, since this note here is an upstroke, I can let my pick from that upstroke fall onto the next string, push it, let it fall onto the next string, and push it again. So now we have a little 1, 2, 3 string sweep, and that is much preferable. Preferable? Ha, yeah. Right? And now if we keep that 5-note thing going and play it ascending instead, starting here from the F on the A string, you see that when we ascend the pattern, when we start from the bottom and play upwards, then we can start as usual with a downstroke. Down, up, down, down, down. So you can kind of see that whenever you're playing a lick in one direction with Economypicking, you have to start playing into that direction. So if you have a descending pattern, most of the time you will start with an upstroke. If you have an ascending pattern, most of the time you will start with a downstroke. And yeah, let's do that. And then repeat that other idea. And now let's add one more pick stroke. So we have up, down, up, 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 down. Right? So that should give you, if you are a beginner in any kind of way in this field of Economypicking, this should give you a good starting point to adjust your right hand and your picking technique and to get this whole thing moving. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at a more intricate scalar pattern using the same technique. Sounds good? All right, then join me tomorrow. But for now, if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. Ring the bell, the notification bell, besides the subscription button, really important. Otherwise, you won't see the next videos coming out. If you have any questions, leave your comments below. Questions if something wasn't clear, I try to explain it again. If you have a suggestion for another topic, also don't be shy, leave them below. And if you want or need a tab for some reason, then follow me on social media, because I will be posting the tabs for these exercises every day on my social media on Facebook and Instagram. Right? Okay, cool. So happy practicing, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow when we take this thing to the next level. Okay, bye. Have a great day.